Hi Year 7, so today we're going to make our pear marble tray bake. So for this you're going to need soft margarine, flour, 2 eggs, caster sugar, a pear, some cocoa powder, some baking powder, sharp knife, stirring spoon, a bowl and a chopping board, as well as a oven-proof dish. Okay, so I've got a square baking dish or a circular one's up to you. Grease it and put some greaseproof paper in there so that our cake doesn't stick. The first thing you're going to do, hands need to be washed, apron needs to be on. You're going to get all your equipment out, all your ingredients weighed, and then you can get going. Preheat your oven to 180 degrees. Leave that warming up while you get making your cake. So in your bowl, you're going to pop your butter, okay? Make sure it's nice and soft, okay? Because it's going to be really difficult otherwise to mix in with your sugar if it's hard. So you're going to add in your butter and your sugar. And like you did with your apple cake, you're going to cream together your sugar and butter until it's really nice and fluffy and light, okay? Have a go at that. So I've creamed my butter and caster sugar together and it's nice and fluffy. Okay, it's changed into a light colour, as you can see. I'm now going to add my 2 eggs. So crack it on the side. Remember, don't get any shell in there because we don't want any added crunch. Okay, pop those 2 eggs in and then we're going to mix those in to that butter and sugar mixture that we already have. Okay, remember being careful not to slop it anywhere. Okay, remember it might start to look a little bit curdly, but that doesn't matter. Okay, once we add our flour, okay, it will all start coming together. Okay, so get all that mixed in. Once it's all mixed in, you're going to sieve in your flour if you haven't sieved it yet, and you're going to add your baking powder. Okay, so get all that mixed together. Okay, it's starting to come together. Once that happens, I'm going to add in my flour. So I'm going to pop in my flour and I'm going to pop in my teaspoon of baking powder. That's again just going to make it, help it rise. Okay, and my teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, so when we fold this in, we don't want to knock any of that air out that we've got in there already. So remember, we go round the outside and down the middle to mix all that together. Make sure that you add in all that flour. You don't want to leave any of that flour out. Mix it all in. Get all of it in there. And we should have a nice, smooth consistency. Okay, so it's all starting to come together. Once it all does start to come together, give it a mix. And then that will be your cake mixture done. So I've made my mixture and I've left it to one side for the moment. I'm now going to cut up my pear. Okay, so using my claw grip, I'm going to take off the stalk because we don't want to eat that bit. Then I'm going to use my bridge hold to cut the pear in half, straight down the middle. Okay, remembering we want to use flat sides onto the work surface. I'm then going to just cut it, okay, into chunks. And then chunks again, because we're going to have small chunks in our bottom of our baking tray. Okay, so try and get them all roughly the same size. Haven't got any core in that bit, but I might find some core in here. Okay, again, chunks all the way down using my claw grip. Okay, and we don't want to eat that bit that's at the bottom, so get rid of that. Again, cut it into chunks. Roughly the same size. Okay, and then you're going to scatter that over the bottom of your dish. Okay, so get your dish back, scatter those over the bottom. Okay, pop those over the bottom, and that is your pear done. So try and spread them out nice and evenly. Okay, you don't want massive chunks, but you want them to be spread out so that every bite that you take, you're going to have a bit of pear in there as well. Okay, so if you need to cut them up a little bit smaller, do that. And then we are ready to pop our mixture over the top. So we're going to pop half of the mixture over our pear, just the normal mixture that we've made. You're going to pop that over half of your mixture over the top. And then we're going to add our cocoa powder to the other half that's left in the bowl. Okay, so try and do maybe a couple of spoonfuls. Just plop that into my over the top of my pear, and pop the another half a spoonful in as well. So what I'm now going to do is that cocoa powder I'm going to add to this remaining mixture. You need to make sure that you've sieved your cocoa powder, because it will be lumpy and you don't want big lumps of cocoa powder going into your mixture, because it will be difficult to get them out. So you need to sieve it. Your 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder into this mixture that is left in the bowl. I've sieved my cocoa powder into my mixture, okay, and I'm now just going to give that a stir in. Just be careful, because you don't want cocoa powder going all over the kitchen. So give that a stir in until it's all mixed in, and it should turn a nice chocolatey colour. Okay, and it will start smelling all chocolatey as well. Give it a good stir. Make sure that you can't see any of that plain mixture that you had in there. Okay, incorporate all of that cocoa powder. Once it's all mixed in, okay, you can see it's all mixed in there. You're then going to put this into your tray as well. So you can see I've just put a couple of blobs of my vanilla mixture in. I'm then just going to plop this chocolate mixture, okay, in the gaps, and maybe on top of the others. So when I marble it together, okay, we'll get a good marble effect. So just make sure that you scrape all of that off the spoon, and then you're going to pop that into your cake tin. Okay, so good spoonful, pop it in there. It doesn't matter, it doesn't need to be too nice. Okay, she's just going to mix it all together anyway. So give that a good scraping, get all that mixture out. Pop it in there. And this is where you can start getting creative. So with a normal knife, sort of a dinner knife or a spoon, like the end of the spoon, you're going to just swirl in that chocolate mixture into the vanilla mixture. Okay, try and keep all that pear on the bottom. Okay, but you're going to get creative and just swirl in that vanilla mixture into your chocolate. Okay, try not to have big blobs of the vanilla and then big blobs of the chocolate. Try and just swirl it all together. Have a go at doing that. As you can see, I've swirled all my mixture in. Can't see any of the pear, which is brilliant. I'm then going to pop it in the oven for 20 minutes. Okay, remember, keep an eye on it. You will need something to skewer it with to make sure it's cooked. Okay, have a look at it about sort of 18 to 20 minutes, because we don't want it burning. Pop it in the oven, wash up, and then we'll see what we get. So I've got my cake out the oven. Okay, it took about 20-25 minutes to cook. Okay, it's looking delicious, smelling divine. You can see on the bottom, the marbling, you can see some of that pear. So I'm just going to leave it to cool down. Then I'm going to slice it up and have a look, see what my marbling looks like. Okay, make sure you do the same to yours. Let it cool down, cut it up, and then send us a picture. Can't wait to see them.